Hello, Kidder families. My name is Kelly Kinderis, and I am a counselor with a local mental health organization called Ohio Guidestone. And we partner with the Brunswick school system to bring mental health services to kids at the schools. So during the school year, we are in the schools doing groups and individual work with kids, and also consulting with teachers and staff about mental health concerns or behavioral issues going on. So I myself partner with Kidder Elementary, and so some of you may have seen me before in the schools, and some of you may have never heard of me, and that's okay. So our group of therapists have come together to try to create a series of short video clips to support our school families during this time. So we are going to bring you 6 short videos focusing on a different topic each week to bring you information and mental health resources and support at home. So our first video clip right now is going to be in talking to your kids about COVID-19, because we think this can be a hard thing to navigate. This is a new experience for both us as parents and for the kids as well, and it can be difficult to find the right words that are going to be helpful and meaningful to our kids in understanding and coping with what's going on. So our first tip to think about is to be thoughtful and intentional with the words we choose to talk about the virus to our kids. And what language is helpful and appropriate will vary from family to family. So thinking about things like, does my child understand the word virus or disease, and what does that mean to them? We want to use words that create clarity and not more confusion. So maybe you want to describe the virus as a bug, or maybe you don't, because your kid will think this is a literal bug that's flying around out there, and they may be scared of bugs the next time they go outside. So just putting thought into what words will be helpful to my kid, how might they think of this, what will bring clarity, we think is important when we talk to our kids about the virus. And then our next tip is giving kids a narrative, if you will, about kind of what's going on in the world. So why is everything closed? Why can't I see anybody? Why is my school closed? This is probably what they're all thinking. So we think it can be helpful to explain social distancing through the words of safety. So saying, this is how we are keeping us and everyone else safe. And when the virus or the bug or whatever word you choose to describe COVID-19, when it's not so big and when we're safe, we'll be able to go out and do the things we used to do and see people again. So we think using safety as a way of describing what's going on can be more of a concrete way of understanding for kids. So we can reassure them that the doctors are working hard to keep everybody safe, and that you are working hard at home to keep them safe too. Our next tip is just to have a lot of empathy and understanding for how your child may be experiencing this time. They've probably never been away from school, away from friends, away from family this long, and that can create a lot of confusion or frustration or anxiety. So kind of having this perspective of what this means to your child is important in how we're responding to them. So when they've asked us for the 18th time if they can go to the playground, and we're like, no, you can't go to the playground, it's closed. Just remembering that this is new, and remembering the new rules and the things we can and can't do can be hard for kids. So kind of keeping that in mind with how we're talking to them and what we're saying to them, we think is really important. And then next we want to reinforce just that we need to be an example to our kids of how to appropriately respond during these times. We are a walking model to our kids of what we should be doing and how we should be feeling or acting during these times. So if we are panicking, our kids will panic. It's as simple as that. And that isn't to say that we shouldn't be showing any fear or any emotion during these times. It's actually helpful if we can express our feelings to kids in healthy ways to help them understand that it's okay for them to have those feelings. And then we can kind of work on coping together for them. So it's okay for us to tell them that you're feeling uncertain or that you're missing a certain family member just as they are. But we just need to be careful in modeling appropriate ways to handle and respond to these feelings. Um, so then it creates opportunities for us to sit down with our kids and talk about how you're coping with your uncertainty or your anxiety or your worry feelings, and then kind of how they can too. And then our next tip is kind of along the same lines, and that's just to be cognizant in monitoring what our kids see and hear in terms of news and media coverage about the pandemic. So, just as they're watching you to see how you're responding, they're watching how others are responding on the media. So, that isn't to say that we should never have the news on. We just need to be aware and conscious of what they are seeing and what they are hearing. So, maybe they have seen the word deaths very big on the TV screen. They may have some questions or some feelings about that. Or if they have seen scary hospital pictures or things like that, we need to be just aware of what they're seeing, and maybe if they've been seeing too much, or if we want to turn the TV off at certain points during the day. And then our very last tip is just to be conveying a sense of hope to your kids. There are a lot of unknowns during this time, and a lot of uncertainties, and there may be personal unknowns or uncertainties for your family as well, with regards to jobs or other personal factors that may be affected by the pandemic. But ultimately, we want just our kids to know that they are safe during this time, that you are working to keep them safe, that people in our community are working to keep them safe, and that this will not last forever. We don't know how long it will last, but that this is a temporary situation in order to keep us safe, so that we can get back to our normal lives. So we hope that was helpful. Thank you for listening. I believe there will be a PDF flyer attached in the same area that you found this link. We will be back next week, and we will be talking about tips for helping your kids with schoolwork and focusing during their times of doing school from home. So we will see you next week. Thanks. Bye.